of the Filipinos. La Indolence de los Filipinos, more popularly known in its English version. The Indolence of the Filipinos is an exploratory essay written by Philippine national hero Dr. Jose Rizal to explain the alleged illness of his people during the Spanish colonization. The Indolence of the Filipinos is a study of the causes why the people did not, as was said, work hard during the Spanish regime. Rizal pointed out that long before the coming of the Spaniards, the Filipinos were industrious and hardworking. The Spanish reign brought about a decline in economic activities because of the certain axes. First, the establishment of the galleon trade cut off all previous association of the Philippines with other countries in Asia and the Middle East. As a result, business was only conducted in Spain through Mexico. Because of this, the small businesses and handicraft industries that flourished during the pre-Spanish period gradually disappeared. Second, Spain also extinguished the natives' love of work because of the implementation of forced labor. Because of the wars between Spain and other countries in Europe, as well as the Muslims in Mindanao, the Filipinos were compelled to work in shipyards, roads, and other public works, abandoning agriculture, industry, and commerce. Third, Spain did not protect the people against foreign invaders and pirates. With no arms to defend themselves, the natives were killed, their houses burned, and their lands destroyed. As a result of this, the Filipinos were forced to become nomads, lost interest in cultivating their lands and rebuilding the industries that were shut down, and simply became submissive to the mercy of God. Fourth, there was a crook system of education. If it was to be considered an education, what was being taught in the schools were repeatedly prayers and other things that could not be used by the students to lead the country to progress. There were no courses in agriculture, industry, etc., which were badly needed by the Philippines during those times. Fifth, the Spanish rulers were a bad example to despise manual labor. The officials reported to work at noon and leave early, all the while doing nothing in line with their duties. The women were seen constantly followed by servants who dressed them and fanned them personal things which they ought to have done for themselves. Sixth, gambling was established and widely propagating during those times. Almost every day were cockfights, and during feast days, the government officials and friars were the first to engage in all sorts of bets and gambles. Seventh, there was a crook system of religion. The friars taught the native Filipinos that it was easier for a poor man to enter heaven, and so they prepared not to work and remain poor so that they could easily enter heaven after they died. Lastly, the taxes were extremely high, so much so that a huge portion of what they earned went to the government or in the friars. When the object of their labor was removed and they were exploited, they were reduced to inaction. Rizal admitted that the Filipinos did not work so hard because they were wise enough to adjust themselves to the warm, tropical climate. An hour's work under the burning sun in the midst of pernicious influence springing from nature and activity is equal to a day's labor in a temperate climate.